Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Shamblecraft. In between episodes, I was busy. I finished the rest of the remaining enclosures for the zoo. As I said in the last episode, and as you saw if you follow my Twitter, I was constantly tweeting about them. Now, I have not added any animals to them, or I did not do the LAs, because I did not have time for it. But, we will start with going over every single enclosure. And when I mean every single enclosure, I mean every single enclosure that I just built. So, let's begin, starting here, with the warden. I'm gonna give each enclosure 30 seconds probably to talk about. Maybe less, maybe more for some. The warden enclosure, I went for a more natural, deep dark look. Lots of things in there, and then I just copied the 1 to 19 look, because that's kind of how I have the rest of these enclosures. And it's really loud if you get near it. Now we can actually skip ahead a little bit in the zoo, because these were already done. Well, actually, I should have a resource pack. For some reason it's not loading. I made it so my horse is a zebra. Or it should be a zebra. I guess that's something important to point out. Yep, there it is. There it is. This next enclosure is the Vindicator. And this entire area you're about to see is all kind of the exact same theme as the Villager. It's more themed to the certain mob in the more traditional block palette setting. Felix built this, and this is for the Vindicator. It is the Woodland Mansion. Continuing into the next one. Another one of my favorites. I personally love this one. This is the Pillager. And the Pillager has a special custom-made tower that I made. I'm a massive fan of this tower. I spent over 30 minutes just correcting the details on this tower, and it may be one of my favorite aspects of the entire zoo, just this little tower. The next enclosure we have is the Witch. The Witch, I went for a more graveyard potion brewing look, which, as you can see, potion brewing, village, potion brewing and graveyard themed. I think I may change the gravestone's color. I might tweak that sometime because it kind of blends into the background. So that's probably a project I'll end up doing sometime, just give it a little bit of a better look. The next enclosure we have is the Iron Golem enclosure. An enclosure I had no clue what to do, so I just took down a bunch of redstone components and decided that a Iron Golem is a mob that is a big fan of redstone components. So it's been slowly building a gigantic machine using redstone components. The next one we have is the Villager. Squidface built this enclosure. As far as I'm still aware, it is still a work in progress, but it's basic, but it tells you that a villager lives here. You got the house, farm. Yeah, it does a really good job of showing that this is where the villager lives, so enjoy. This is the Villager enclosure, and Squid built this. The next enclosure we have is the cat enclosure. When I was doing the cat, I decided I wanted a jungle gym feeling, but I feel like it's turned into more of a yoga jungle gymming thing for cats. It's a lot of play zone for the cats. Then they even have a nice... Ooh, I need to fix that. Then they have a nice bed, like little hut for them to sleep in. I had to take that out because that was not meant to be in there. But yeah, that's the cat enclosure. Now, let's see here. The main path goes this way, so we'll head this way. Since our next enclosures, you've seen all these. They've been here in multiple episodes. You know what they all are. So these are kind of useless. But continuing up, we have a bunch more new enclosures. Another thing I tried to do when I was designing the enclosures was have every type of, like, wood be used at some part, and I did have every single type of wood be used during it. So I was really happy about that, and then basalt, nether, brick were two other ones. Starting it off strong with the husk. The husk enclosure, I decided to go for a spiky, desert, simple feeling. And then having the birch and sandstone. I still haven't fully figured out if I like the birch. I may end up stripping it down to stripped birch. I feel like that may end up looking better sometime. Because I don't fully know if I like that look. I think I like it, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'll end up seeing what I do with it. The next enclosure we have is the Drowned. The drowned is the only enclosure that I did any sort of mob putting in. I put a drowned armor stand in because I wanted to show you guys what I plan on doing for enclosures that I don't plan on putting mobs in. I plan on doing armor stand scenes, so I went ahead and did one for fun of the drowned. It's basic, but because I realized halfway after I was done building it that I needed to put it in water for drowned, so I just did that cute little thing. The next thing we have is a zombie. I went for a dirty, muddy mess, spike-y themed area here. I didn't have an idea, so I just did something a little bit more basic. So I just did some dirt, mud, good mixture of blocks, and had a nice little mix-up thing for them to be able to play around them. The next one we did is a zombie villager. I decided to go for a more traditional feel of a village house burnt down, and since we have fire spread off, it really works. Just, I don't think I'll ever be able to put it properly in there because it'll instantly die from the fire. Now, and these are also not in the order that I built them. These were, in fact, some of the last enclosures I built. The next one we have is the Stray. I realized that I wanted to go for something a bit more snow, ice themed, since the Stray lives in the snow area, snow, ice area, so I just decided, instead of having snow, since snow's kind of more down there, I decided to have ice here, so we have different biomes everywhere. Also, sorry about that weird cut. I realized that my main microphone that I typically use was replaced with a microphone I never even heard of, so I had to change it. The next one we have is a shulker. When I was deciding the shulker, I decided I want to have it in-themed, so I did a basic in-themed look, in-stone, chorus fruit, nothing big, special, just a basic end fruit basic thing. The next one we have right here is the skeleton. When I was designing the skeleton, I wanted a very blank slate, but with a wall that you can, like, have a bow fight through. I'm a massive fan of it, so lots of little holes for fun bow shenanigans on both sides of the enclosure, which is what I went for with this enclosure. The next one is the slime enclosure. This was the hardest enclosure, in my opinion, to think of an idea for. So, I went ahead and ripped out the bottom of the entire slime enclosure, which was traditionally just stone as the rest of it, put in some blue, I think it was light blue, and then put on some slime on top, and it's now just a bouncy house. These enclosures were towards the end, so I was running out of ideas because I've used all my ideas previously with some of the other enclosures. And then the last ever enclosure was the creeper I built. And I wanted green just to give the creeper a traditional, nice, good look, so it is just a green terracotta with some green glazed terracotta, I think that's what it's called, on top. And another thing I want to say is Mirren helped me with the next set of enclosures we're going to be looking at, and Mirren also did a little nice touch on one of the snowman by adding the shaved snowman, because I've heard about it, so thank you, Mirren. These next enclosures Mirren's helped me with just getting all the water put in these enclosures. So, let's see here, if I can remember them. The first one is tropical fish. The second one is pufferfish. The third one is salmon. And the fourth one is axolotls. You'll notice a lot that these all look the exact same with coral, kelp, stuff. I'm a massive fan of these enclosures. I hope you like them also. They are all special because of the nice amount of water, coral stuff. The next two we'll look at are glowing squid and glow squid. These two enclosures are not connected, but they are very similar, with one being bigger than the other. And I think this all have glow squid go on that one. We have dog, turtle. Oh yeah, there's one more. Oh, and the dolphins died like 20 times during all this, so I don't have dolphins in here. The next set of enclosure, well, not set, but the next enclosure I want to show you is the axolotl enclosure. This enclosure, I'm a really big fan of this one, but it just, there's that hill, lots of space for the axolotls, so I just feel like it was a perfect look for the axolotls. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and actually not sleep. Now we have the spider. The spider is a basic, simple cave little with lots of cobwebs. And this is where the acacia comes in. And now you've seen every single type of wood. Then we have the endermite. It's a lot like the shulker, but smaller with enderods. The cave spider is a lot like the spider, but instead of it takes place in a cave, this one takes place inside of a mine shaft. I'm a fan of this one. Lots of little hidden lighting, like if you look at it from a certain angle, you don't even see that torch. The last one for little mobs, we have the silverfish. This one is just a more simple, spiky, torn down stronghold. I'm a fan of this one. The ghast. I really hope I can end up getting a ghast in here one day because it'll be just so cool. The ghast will have lots of space to fly around, and it will, I think, really enjoy this big space for it. Then we have the strider. Wait, no. The strider we don't care about. Let's see here. Did I label these ones, or do I have to remember what they are? No, I did not. This one, I believe, is the piglin. No, actually, no, this is the zoglin. I went for a warped forest feel, and I think I pulled it off. This one is the zombified piglin, and I went for a crimson forest feel. I like it. It's simple, kind of like the other one, but just crimson instead of warped. Then we have a crimson and warped forest for this is Magma Cube. And it is just the two simple biomes combined. And then this is the blaze, and their last enclosure to show off is the wither skeleton, which takes place in a basalt delta, and it is just a simple yet cool nether fortress. And you may have noticed that none of the new enclosures I included lava in because I did not like doing the lava bits. And I included every biome in the nether enclosures. And the enclosures have, in fact, been built up pretty much. Minus the little rooms like this over here, like the restrooms, or back where we are, over here, what's this one called again? What's this gonna be? Oh yeah, the entrance. So then there's just little simple rooms like this that haven't been built yet. So, shockingly, there's even more I have to show you guys. The next place we have to stop and head to is actually the event district, because during the first day of building it, Shamblecraft was a part of the Draw for Charity event stream, and I did a little bit of work there that I'm really proud of, that I want to show off. I did a build with Merciless Void, who I was partnered with during the Shamblecraft UHC2 Teams Edition, I think it was called. The two of us got really high place. I remember that. So we actually went ahead to their Christmas portal, because I think that's the closest portal to where we want to go. So this is Christmas, so that means it'd be this way. Right over here is where we did a bit of a zoo sort of theme. So we'll take a little peek at all this. So here is a little bit of a simple look that just with everyone that helped it is a part of it. And there I am with a skin I haven't showed yet. That is a skin that I had which was just a combination of me and Squid. Squid made that skin. Then everywhere there's just the different mobs for different enclosure, like we got axolotls, llamas and trader llamas, bees. Just gonna quickly show all these off. Like here we have, and as far as I'm aware, this is still being worked on, cows, mushrooms. Then over here we got pigs, goats, cats, Then in this barn we have being worked on foxes. Oh, here we go. The pandas. These were a set of mobs that I did. I did all the bringing over of the pandas from my base. These are actually my pandas from my base. I just brought them over. Well, I bred them and then brought them over. Here, then we have the sheep and zebras, or they're actually called horses, but for me, they're zebras. Oh, actually, probably shouldn't be holding these. And there's also donkeys in the back there. And these are just some more stables. And then there should be a couple more. There should be one more or two more. Here's the dogs. Did I show them all? There's one. Where's the rabbit? I remember. Oh, here's the chicken. I remember there was a big struggle with rabbits. They may have been cut, I think, from this, so that's why there's no rabbits. Oh well. But the build that I worked on this build with Void, as you heard, and we built this sort of entrance visitor center together. We all did, the two of us did different parts of it, but here then is the bit of an inside look. Void did the interior decorations. Up here, it's an empty place. Then we have the third floor, which has turned into the storage system within a basic nice little area to go to sleep. So it's a perfect area for storage. And then I'll go ahead and give you guys a bit of a front view of the animal sanctuary. And I don't think I've ever shown this off, so I will in fact show this off now. Holy cow, what is this project? This is a massive project that I'm going to be excited to see when it's finished. It looks really cool. I'll show you guys that when it's finished, probably, hopefully. And then this is the castle that's Disney themed that T. Rose built. I don't think I ever showed that off, so there that is. I got more to show off still. And this episode is a lot going on. Now, because it's been about a week since our last clip, well, the last episode, actually over a week, it's probably been some spreading that's been happening at Book E2. So we probably need to go ahead and see what the spreading has looked like at the Book E2 area. So if we head over here to Book E2, and we enter the Nether, and we head this way, and let's see. Ooh, if I can fly. There we go. Oh. Well, it looks like Book E2 has officially spread rest of the way. Now, I kind of made up the little idea of this little bit of a curse thing spreading to having it be like this a lot. I don't know, I just really liked it, just because of how cool it is, and the basic little area, and just the entirety of Bookie going back to its original colors makes me happy. Because these were the original colors. I mean, this area right here was the original area, but then this is all expansion, but it just seems so cool to see it. And I went ahead and, when I was doing it, I decided to have a bit of a idea that I thought of pretty much right as I was about to change the letters out. I decided I wanted one small way to remember all the different ones, so each color has a significance. White stands for the original Bookie. Yellow stands for the Halloween part. The black symbolizes the construction, when it was being torn down, rebuilt, all that sort of fun stuff. The light blue, oh boy, what does that stand for? Oh yeah, the light blue and magenta kind of were both part of the birthday look, so they're kind of just combined together. And then green was the Christmas look. So they're all together as a simple thing. Now, the next project for this episode. I know there's a lot of projects, but we're going to head back to my base. This is another off-camera project. But it's still a project that nonetheless has to get done. If we head over to where we did all the building, you will see a gigantic shulker monster. And that is what I want to tackle. This is from building this. I'm going to spend the rest of today tackling this monster. So, I will see you after this monster has been attacked. Well, all the resources I used for all of the zoo building has in fact been put away, which is really good because that means it's not crowded down there and it's not crowded in here. These are just extra rockets I have that I can refill up with. Now, this next project I want to do is a project I've been meaning to do for a while now. But let me go and hop on my free cam, it'll be easier to show it off. The top of these trees, not all of them are fully lit up. So there's still some summoning spots on some of these trees. Not all trees, but a few. So I want to try and just go around and get the last few trees summonified, or make it so they're not spawnable. And this way spawn, and I plan on doing one more thing while I do that. I also realized that, well, it is March 1st, this video should be out at March 1st, so having all the hearts at Bookie 2 just doesn't make sense. The month of February and Valentine's Day has passed. Maybe it's time we put up some more decorations to go with March. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do those two things, and I will be back as soon as I... Oh, wrong floor. As soon as I get those two little projects done, because I don't think it'll take that long. But we will see. So, I will see you guys shortly. Well, the entire top of my base has been lit up. It's wonderful looking. It's perfect. It's exactly what I was hoping for. It's simple, but also at the exact same time perfect, so I shouldn't have any more mobs spawning up there because there were a couple dull spots that I noticed just in the inside of towers I forgot to light up. But all that's perfectly lit up. Now, take a look. Now I guess I'm going to show you Bookie. Bookie 2, I decided, well, spring is in March, so I decided it's time for Bookie 2 to have a spring overhaul. And all sorts of flowers and bushes have just appeared to help make Bookie 2 a wonderful springtime look. And then for March, I'll probably do something more related to, or April, I'll probably do something related to an Easter egg hunt again, because that's what I did last year and I have plans to do it again this year. And I also did the two windows, so this is finished. This is Betsy. This dog was originally at spawn, and it's been there for a long time, but I moved it over here now, so Betsy gets a area. And lastly, I created an armor stand scene with the workers and once workers of Bookie 2. The scene is a really cool scene, and I love it. Just having it all, it just works. In my opinion, having the three most active people in the middle being Mishep and Jake, the bottom two being Theta and Squid, and the top two being Felix and Kiwi. I just thought that was just a perfect look, and I'm proud of it. I like it. And then Bookie 2, really, in my opinion, is in fact finished. With that, that means we can head over to my base and show you the rest of my project. Well, the rest of the projects for this season. So you guys can get an idea on what is to come for the rest of the season. Well, essentially, there's a few things I want to change. And it all relates to the museum. That's like the main project. This museum. is going to be changed dramatically. So let's see here. Oh, yeah, that needs to stay there. So, build zoo enclosures. We can mark that off because we did that. And we'll have it be empty to signify we did something. Do other zoo buildings, we can't mark that one off. Do zoo roads, we can't do that. Build a coaster, we can't do that. We can't do mod expansion. We can't do add things to coaster. We can remove light up top of my base. And we can do return Bookie 2 to the OG. And then build wood farm. I'm removing it because Jake did that. So, and then get mod to the zoo we can't remove yet. So we have 6 main things I want to do left this season. And they will take all the way to the very end of the season. But yeah. And the next couple of episodes, we will be finishing off the zoo. Then we'll start on this Moss expansion, which is going to be a roller coaster museum through this season of Bookie 2. It's how I'm going to end it off, by having it be one big museum to end it off, with a roller coaster that will travel throughout there, showing a bunch of the big builds. We'll have a couple of builds might get moved here that I've built throughout. So it'll be really cool just to see it, or I'll copy like the builds or something like that. And then there will also be, I've had this plan for a bit, but I think it'd be cool to have some sort of the roller coaster kind of going like through the towers, through the zoo, just around my base, like on the edge of it, because I've had this plan for the entire time, but I haven't done it yet. Now, what we'll do in the next episode, we're not going to be doing the other buildings because I'm not in the mood to do those, because I want to do those last. I'm actually going to be doing the roads. All the roads, or I'd like to at least, if I can't get at least half of the roads done throughout the entirety of the zoo. It would be a massive project, slowly, when I mean slowly, detailing, making the roads, and then covering the rest of the area with other blocks to make the roads look good. It would be another long project, so that is probably what I'll end up doing next episode. So if there's a long gap in between episodes, longer than this, because the enclosures are going to be easier than building a bunch of roads. So if there's a big gap, that's why. Without further ado, I've been Ep.34, and this has been Shamblecraft. Goodbye!